In the great city of Babylon, there lived a man named Bansir, who made horse carts for a living. He was a skilled worker with strong hands and a good heart. But today, he felt very sad and confused. Bansir sat on the stone wall around his small house, looking at his simple home and workshop. Inside the workshop was a half-finished cart that he needed to complete for a rich customer. His wife kept looking at him through the doorway, worried because they had almost no food left and needed money badly. The hot sun beat down on his sweating face as he sat there, unable to move or think clearly. Around him, the magnificent city of Babylon stretched out, with its towering palace walls and the beautiful painted temple reaching toward the sky. But despite all this grandeur, Bansir's home was simple and plain, just like many other poor families in the city. Babylon was a city of extremes. Incredible wealth lived right next to terrible poverty. Rich people rode by in fancy chariots while poor workers and beggars walked barefoot in the dusty streets. Slaves carried heavy water bags to the famous hanging gardens, but Bansir was too lost in his own thoughts to notice the busy activity around him. Suddenly, he heard the familiar sound of a stringed instrument. His best friend, Kobbi, a talented musician, appeared with his lyre and a big smile on his face. "Hello, my dear friend," Kobbi said cheerfully. "The gods must be blessing you today, since you're sitting here instead of working. You must be doing so well that you can afford to rest. How about lending me 2 silver coins until tonight? I have a big performance at a nobleman's party, and I'll pay you back right away." Bansir shook his head sadly. "My friend, if I had 2 silver coins, I couldn't lend them to anyone, not even you. Those 2 coins would be everything I own in the world. Nobody lends away their entire fortune, not even to their closest friend." Kobbi was shocked. "What? You don't have a single coin, yet you're sitting here doing nothing. Why don't you finish that cart in your workshop? How else will you feed yourself and your family? This isn't like you at all. What's troubling you? Have the gods sent you some problem?" "It must be punishment from the gods," Bansir agreed. "It all started with a dream, a wonderful but foolish dream. In this dream, I was wealthy. I had a heavy purse full of coins hanging from my belt. I threw silver coins to beggars without worry. I bought beautiful clothes for my wife and anything I wanted for myself. I even had gold coins that made me feel safe about the future and unafraid to spend money." He continued, "In the dream—" "That's exactly the problem," Bansir exclaimed. "When I woke up and remembered how empty my money pouch really was, I felt angry and rebellious. Let's talk about this together, my friend. As the boat captains say, we're both in the same situation." Bansir stood up and began pacing. "We grew up together, learned from the same teachers, shared the same fun times as young men, and have been close friends our whole lives. We've been good citizens and loyal subjects of our king. We've worked hard for many years and spent our earnings freely. We've made plenty of money over the years, but to experience real wealth, we can only dream about it." He gestured around them. "Look at us. Are we just like dumb sheep? We live in the richest city in the entire world. Travelers say no other place equals Babylon's wealth. We see displays of riches everywhere, but we have none ourselves. After working hard for half our lives, you, my best friend, have an empty purse and ask me to lend you 2 small coins. And what's my answer? I have to admit that my purse is just as empty as yours." Bansir's voice grew stronger with passion. "What's wrong with this picture? Why can't we get enough silver and gold, more than we need just for food and clothes? Think about our sons, too. Aren't they following the same path we did? Do they and their families have to live their whole lives surrounded by treasures of gold, yet like us, be satisfied with sour goat milk and simple porridge?" Kobbi had never heard his friend talk this way before. "In all our years of friendship, you've never spoken like this." And in all those years, I never thought like this before, Bansir replied. From sunrise to sunset, I've worked to build the finest carts anyone could make. I kept hoping that someday the gods would notice my good work and reward me with great prosperity. But they never have, and now I realize they never will. That's why my heart is heavy. He clenched his fists with determination. I want to be a man of means. I want to own land and cattle, wear fine clothes, and have coins in my purse. I'm willing to work for these things with all my strength, skill, and intelligence, but I want my hard work to be fairly rewarded. What's wrong with us? Why can't we have our fair share of the good things that are so plentiful for those who have gold to buy them? Kobbi nodded sadly. I wish I knew the answer. I'm no more satisfied than you are. The money I earn from playing my lyre disappears quickly. I often have to plan and scheme just to keep my family from going hungry. Deep in my heart, I long for a large, beautiful lyre that could truly sing the music that flows through my mind. With such an instrument, I could create music finer than even the king. But how can you get it when we are both as poor as the king's slaves? Listen, here they come now. He pointed to a long line of half-naked, sweating men carrying heavy water bags up the narrow street from the river. They marched 5 across, each man bent under the weight of a large goat skin filled with water. The man leading them cuts quite a figure, Kobbi observed, noting the bell-bearer who walked in front without carrying a load. You can tell he was someone important in his own country. There are many good men in that line, Bansir agreed. Men as good as we are, tall, fair-haired men from the north, cheerful, dark-skinned men from the south, small, brown men from nearby countries, all marching together from the river to the gardens, back and forth day after day, year after year. They have nothing happy to look forward to, just beds of straw to sleep on and hard grain porridge to eat. I feel sorry for the poor souls. I pity them too, Kobbi said, but you're making me see how little better off we are, even though we call ourselves free men. That's the uncomfortable truth, my friend. We don't want to continue living like slaves year after year, working and getting nowhere. Couldn't we find out how other people get gold and do the same thing? Kobbi suggested. Maybe there's some secret we could learn if we asked the right people, Bansir replied thoughtfully. Kobbi's eyes lit up. Just today I saw our old friend Arkad riding by in his golden chariot. I'll say this for him, he didn't look down on me like many wealthy people might. Instead, he waved his hand, so everyone could see him greeting me with a friendly smile. He's said to be the richest man in all of Babylon, Bansir mused. So rich that the king asks for his help with financial matters, Kobbi added. So rich, Bansir said with a grin, that I'm afraid if I met him alone in the dark, I might be tempted to grab his fat wallet. Nonsense, Kobbi scolded. A man's wealth isn't in the purse he carries. A fat purse empties quickly if there's no golden stream to refill it. Arkad has an income that constantly keeps his purse full, no matter how generously he spends. Income, that's the key, Bansir exclaimed excitedly. I want an income that keeps flowing into my purse whether I'm sitting on this wall or traveling to distant lands. Arkad must know how a man can create an income for himself. Do you think he could explain it clearly enough for someone with a slow mind like mine to understand? I think he taught his knowledge to his son, Nomasir, Kobbi responded. Didn't the young man go to the city of Nineveh and, according to what people say at the inn, become one of the richest men there without any help from his father? Kobbi, you've given me a brilliant idea. A new light shone in Bansir's eye. Never mind that our purses are as empty as last year's bird's nest. We shouldn't let that stop us. We're tired of being without gold while surrounded by plenty. We want to become men of means. Come on, let's go to Arkad and ask him how we can also create incomes for ourselves. You speak with true inspiration, my friend, Kobbi said with growing excitement. You've brought a new understanding to my mind. You've made me realize why we've never found any real wealth. We never actually sought it. You worked patiently to build the strongest carts in Babylon. You devoted your best efforts to that goal, and you succeeded. I worked to become a skillful lyre player, and I succeeded at that too. He continued with enthusiasm. In the things we put our best efforts toward, we succeeded. The gods were content to let us continue that way. But now, at last, we see a bright light, like the rising sun. It's calling us to learn more so we can prosper more. With this new understanding, we'll find honorable ways to achieve our desires. Let's go to Arkad today, Bansir urged. And let's ask other friends from our childhood who haven't done any better than us to join us. That way, they can also benefit from his wisdom. You were always thoughtful of your friends, Bansir. That's why you have so many. We'll do exactly as you suggest. We'll go today and bring them with us. And so, with renewed hope and determination, the two friends prepared to seek out the wisdom that could change their lives forever. They had realized that wanting wealth wasn't enough. They needed to learn the secrets of creating it. Their journey toward prosperity was about to begin, not through dreams, but through the practical wisdom of someone who had already achieved what they desired most. The hot sun still beat down on Babylon, the slaves still carried their water, and the rich still rode in their chariots. But something had changed in the hearts of Bansir and Kobbi. They had taken the first step toward transforming their dreams into reality by deciding to seek knowledge from someone who could teach them the way to wealth.